I think it's safe to say that animals in Minecraft are relatively unpredictable things. I mean, I can remember a large number of occasions where I've been trying my best to get them to go into their various pens, and it just never goes to plan, does it? I mean, some of them always die, some of them just travel off into the distance, never to be seen again. So today I'm going to be showing you guys how to use redstone to make the process of catching animals and mobs just a tiny bit simpler. I hope that tickles your fancy. This is just a warning for those of you who are like super professional Minecrafters. This is quite a simple video. If you enjoy slightly more complex videos, then I'd suggest watching this. It's absolutely crazy, just tons of redstone. So this first design is probably about as old as Minecraft itself. All you need is a pressure plate and then 4 iron doors, and that's it, you're good to go. So you just chuck in your pressure plate like this, and then you place your 4 iron doors making their way around just like that. So you should have something that looks a little bit like this. Now when you stand on the pressure plate, you should see that all of the doors will close around you. However, you might end up with something like this happening, and that's not brilliant, okay, because we're not trapping anything there. So what you need to do is you need to break those doors, and you need to change the orientation. So just chuck in the door like that, and then maybe rotate this one right here as well, and then you should have something that works perfectly. So if something was walking past, an animal or a mob, and they stood on this pressure plate, they would then be trapped inside the iron doors until you let them out. Now this is good if you only want to catch one thing, however it's not brilliant if you want to catch lots of things. So let's move on to the next design. Now this next design is a tiny bit bigger and also a tiny bit more complicated than the previous one, but it is very good at catching large quantities of animals and mobs, which could be very useful for you. So the first thing we've got to do is create a little pit right here. I'm going to go 3 blocks down, 2 blocks across, and 4 blocks long, just like this. And then on either end, I'm just going to chuck in 2 blocks like that and 2 blocks like that with tripwire hooks on both of those blocks. And then on either side of our pit, we're going to throw in a bunch of trapdoors. So 1 set of trapdoors on that side, and 1 set of trapdoors on that side, and make sure that you actually place the trapdoors on the blocks, because otherwise they will open inwards, as in towards the center, which will look very silly and also won't do a particularly good job at catching any animals. But anyway, then you need to hold down the shift click button and throw in some string just like that, and everything should connect up. Then grab yourself some redstone and just run it all the way around just like this. Now what that means is that if anything walks on top of this string, everything will open up and they will drop down to the bottom. Those first 2 designs are fantastic if you just want to catch any old animal or any old mob. You can just throw it down and then it will catch anything that walks past. However, you might want to catch something specific, say for example a zombie. Well, the good news is that zombies are attracted to villagers, and you can use those villagers as bait to get tons and tons of zombies down into your system. All you have to do is create a 3x3 fence area like this, then throw in a few villagers from your villager breeder, and now we're going to have to dig a relatively big trench. So once again, we're going to be going 3 blocks down, and we're going to be creating a 2 wide area all the way around this thing. So you should have something that looks just a little bit like this. Now we're going to be popping down to the bottom and doing some modifications. We just need to clear out all of the area underneath our villagers. So now they're sort of hovering up in the sky like that. And in the central block, you just want to place in a fence gate, and we're going to be opening that up. Then underneath the fence gate, you want to take out a few blocks, so that's where all of your zombies are going to be falling. And in each of the corners, we're going to be placing in some water. So some water there, and some water there. And that will push any zombies that fall into the system towards this central block, and then they'll drop down to the bottom. Now we have got quite a bit of trapdoor placing to do. The first thing that you've got to do is place in all of the trapdoors on the central section, and then, you guessed it, you've got to place in a bunch of trapdoors on the outer section as well. And this thing right here is what you should be left with. A little trapdoor area with some hovering villagers in the middle and some water down underneath. Now if we set ourselves into hard mode, for example, everything will start spawning in, we'll see some zombies, and eventually they will begin to make their way towards our villagers. But I think I'm going to speed up the process a little bit by placing in a few of them. And as you will see, they all walk straight towards the center, fall straight into the water, and then go straight into that hole there. I mean, it's perfect. It's extremely efficient, and if you wanted to, you could sit down at the bottom and use this thing as an XP farm if you really fancied, because I'm sure it would do incredibly well. So there we have it, guys. That rounds up today's super simple video on how to do a bunch of different animal and mob traps in Minecraft. There hasn't been too much redstone involved, but hopefully that has taught you a thing or two about the way mob catching and things like that worked. Now obviously, if you do have some other suggestions, let me know down in the comment section, because I know there's some fantastic designs out there. But unfortunately, ladies and gents, that's all I've got time for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to hit that like button, and if you really loved it, then make sure to subscribe. But thanks for watching, guys. This has been Mumbo, and I'm out. I'll see you later.